Nice to see you, Jordan. Nice to see everybody that's joined us. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Louise Archer, and I'm joined by my colleague, Jordan Taylor.
Jordan.
Friend. And today, this is the last in the series of our LinkedIn Lives, so I hope you enjoy it. We're covering a topic that we talk about all the time, or people come to us about all the time, which is mindset. And also misnomers, which are all kind of part of the same thing we have discovered around retained search. I mean, God, there's so many things that get in the way of being in the right mindset to be able to work on a retained basis. I discovered them, and that's what helps me to guide other people in realizing what they are. When we first met, Jordan, like, you were only doing contingent recruitment. And when I first met my kind of guru, Matt Howell, I was only doing contingent recruitment. But why is that? Like, why do so many contingent recruiters only do contingent? Why were you only doing contingent, Jordan, do you think, when we first met?
I think if I look at it in terms of kind of, I suppose, breaking free, if you will, from that contingent model, I think there's two parts to it. Yeah, the first one, and if I look back to my journey, I kind of fell into recruitment, right? Like so many of us did. It wasn't a planned thing. I just kind of fell into it, and all of a sudden found myself being taught the recruitment way, which for me was speccing out candidates, pulling leads from candidates where they'd been interviewing, then flicking CVs to as many jobs as I possibly can. It was a numbers game. The problem I had, if I look back, is that I never knew there was a different way. Like, it wasn't about I couldn't break free. I suppose in a way, initially, I didn't even know I needed to break free.
Yeah.
It was all I'd been shown. It was all I knew. And I grew increasingly frustrated at that model, and I suppose was very fortunate to have met you when I did and have someone that could show me there was a different way and a better way. Because, as I say, not only did I not know that I needed to break free, but even if I did know that, there was nobody in my contingent business at the time that had the knowledge, the skill set to teach me or show me how, or show me that it was even possible, I suppose.
Yeah, I was the same. I was exactly the same. That I remember being so frustrated with, and the main thing that frustrated me was the lack of commitment from clients and working on stuff that seemed to just be disregarded by the clients that I was working with. I didn't know. I just didn't know it was going to be possible. Yeah. And for me, I always thought that it was only the experienced, 30-year search guys down in London and in the big cities that would ever be able to work on in that way. It was something that I just didn't know. I really didn't know anything about and didn't know that it was possible. And I still think now there are so many recruiters working on a contingent basis that we speak to that say, oh, it wouldn't work in my market, or it wouldn't, I couldn't do that because, and then all the different things that the conceptions and misconceptions that they've got about it, right? And that's why you found and I found is the main reason why people really struggle to break free from that, because they just don't, they don't think that they don't know that it's a different way, do they? Well, and the clients, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, I suppose we all aspire to be the top performer. And if I look back to when I was in that contingent environment, the top performer, the kind of pin-up, if you will, was always, they've sent 100 CVs, and from that 100 CVs, they've got 50 interviews. It was always very much that KPI-led approach. That was always what we were kind of driven to aspire to, rather than a different way.
Yeah, exactly. And from a client's perspective, why are they trapped, or why are they still why are they still always insisting on working on a contingent basis, do you think?
Well, I mean, I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this as well, Lou. But in my experience, I found that often it's exactly the same. They don't realise that there is a different way and a better way.
Yeah.
They're kind of stuck on this hamster wheel, this contingent hamster wheel of 10 or 15 agencies in a PSL sending them the same profiles.
Yeah, or not sending any profiles.
Or not sending any profiles, right? And they themselves as well have that same misconception that you had, that actually you thought exec search or retained search was for people in expensive suits in big cities. They think exec or retained search is on CEOs or board level positions, and it's not the case.
Yeah, no, it isn't. It isn't. But they have exactly the same misconception, exactly the same preconceptions, and it isn't though, is it? Like I thought it was just for expensive suits and executive positions. Lots of clients think the same, but in my experience, that it couldn't be further from the truth. That it's a solution to so many of the problems that the contingent model causes. It's not just for executive and senior positions and for people in expensive suits.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, I found the complete opposite. So, since I've been in search, I started in search when, I was fortunate enough for you to teach me, Lou, several years ago. I started on, I suppose, relatively junior roles, 40, 50,000 pound software engineering vacancies. And actually, if anything, I found as a solution, it works better on roles at that level than some of the senior stuff. The senior stuff I found is easier to recruit often.
It's easier. Yeah.
Where customers have real challenge is in that mid-level range, where often they're competing against 4, 5, 6 big competitors for great talent.
Yeah, I agree. And that, for me, like, that summarizes one of the main reasons that people are trapped in the contingent model, is because they just don't realize what it actually is. They think it's something that it isn't. And when you realize that it's a solution to the problems that can't be solved on a no-win, no-fee basis, then you realize what it is. It's not better or Premier or just using video interviewing or adding all these bells and whistles. It's a process that enables you to solve the problems that the contingent model causes. And it doesn't mean, more and more now, those problems are prevalent across all levels, aren't they? Like, especially in this market right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I look back to even some of the calls that I've had with prospective customers interested in joining the course over the past few months. And it feels like there are two real extremes at the moment in the market. It feels like some people that I'm speaking to are finding the market is slowing down a little bit. Maybe because of fear of an impending recession or whatever it may be. And because of that, it's really important that they're being paid for the work that they do, and their fill rates are high, and they're providing a great service. The complete other side of the coin to that is people I speak to are absolutely rammed, busier than they ever have been in terms of the volume of jobs. And I want to know where to prioritize and where to focus the time. There are loads of jobs, but because of that, attracting great talent is really difficult. So I think in the current market, I think it's imperative to be at least taking this as a solution to customers.
And what I've found is that it is a solution, and that if a client isn't having a problem, then there's no need for them to use it. Why should they do anything different? But in this market right now, most of the companies that are trying to hire are having problems. And why would you keep using the same model and expect different results? Why would you keep doing the same thing and expect something different to happen? And it doesn't matter what level it is, or it doesn't matter where it is, and it doesn't matter what situation it is. using the same model and expecting something different to happen doesn't make sense, and actually using a different model that can solve the problems makes much more sense. So that I think for me just made all of the difference when I started moving in that direction.
Yeah.
I think we're
attitude, sorry, even just having that attitude of trying to solve customers' problems, I guarantee if we stop just pushing contingent and what we know and start focusing on identifying challenges and problems and pulling the pain and where it's hurting and then trying to provide solutions, I guarantee whether the customer goes with retained or not at that stage, they will appreciate it and the relationships we subsequently have will elevate.
Yeah. In the same way that the solution to removing the barrier for us to be able to sell it is realizing that there is a better way.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same in helping our clients to buy it. It's educating them on the fact that there is a better way. And it isn't a sell, it isn't a, we use the word sell and pitch and things like that, but really it's not, it's just an explanation of that there is a better way of doing things. And yes, it requires some financial commitment, but this is the process that we can put in place to solve the problem in return. Yeah. And even if, like you say, Jordan, they decide to say, well, actually, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, that's fine. Carry on doing what you're doing then.
Exactly. And actually the mindset and misnomers piece, right, is obviously a challenge for all of us. Yeah, it's been a challenge for us previously until we overcame it. And I'm sure it's a challenge for a lot of the people with us tonight. It's also a huge opportunity because I guarantee you 90% of contingent recruiters out there have these same misnomers and misconceptions. And because of that, they're not having these conversations. So there's a real opportunity to elevate the message and the relationship you have with your customer by having conversations that your competitors just aren't.
Yeah. Bobby's put a comment in. Thanks, Bobby. I think we chase contingent searches just to engage with clients and get business. And we're scared to ask for retained searches to end up with nothing. I wonder if there are stats on wins of retained versus contingent. So, I mean, there's so many interesting points in there. Winning a contingent search is an interesting concept because what are you winning exactly? If you look at your stats of how many jobs you work on a contingent basis versus how many you fill, you'll probably find that what you've won on a contingent basis is the chance to spend a 70% chance of spending time on something that results in nothing. That's probably what you'll find you've won when you win a contingent search. Whereas, of course, if you win a retained search, providing you put your right process in place, you win a fee, a guaranteed fee. But I get that we're scared to ask for retained searches, and I love that you're saying that, and you're right. And the worry that they're going to say no. But if you think of it, instead of asking for a retained search, of diagnosing the problems that they're having and then explaining that there's a better solution, we're not asking for it. We're just educating them that there's a better way. And if they choose not to take that, then that's okay. That's their decision. We haven't made a fool of ourselves. In fact, like Jordan says, it's the opposite. We've put ourselves as an advisor by saying there is a solution to this and this is the way it can be solved, rather than just put ourselves in an embarrassing situation. We're not just asking for the retainer, we're providing a solution to the problems.
100%. And I always felt like actually I had a duty to have this conversation with the customer. I had a duty to say, these are the challenges that you face. This is the way I see the market. And in my expertise, this is the best way for us to solve this challenge together.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. And so many people that do our training course come out with the same sense of, if I have to do my diagnostics with my client, and I have to understand if this process is working for them, if this contingent model is working for them. And if it isn't, it is my duty to explain that there is a better way of approaching it. That's not a sell. That is if what you're providing is a solution to your client's problems, it is your duty to articulate that. So Gino, thank you for your comment. Gino says, my fear is I have a lot of repeat business with long-standing relationships. Such another common fear. You don't need to worry about this. It's the same situation. You're not selling anything here. If the way that they're working is working for them and they're happy, they're getting what they want when they want it, and it's an enjoyable process, it's very difficult for you to convince them that they should do something different. However, there's two exceptions to this. One is that, well, if it's the opposite and they're not having a good time. So if when you say, look, let's just step back for a minute. We've worked with you for the last year, 6 months, however long. How is it going for you? And they're like, yeah, it's okay. It's a bit hit and miss. This went well, but this one didn't go so well. Now that's not great. A great situation to be in with a valued client. You want your client saying, absolutely love you, Gino. Everything you do for us is unbelievably good. Never want to go anywhere else. Never want to leave you. What can we do to make you happy? So if there's any kind of problems, dig into them. Really, that was frustrating for you. Why was that? It was the time to hire. It was a quality. Was it? I know it was you that's providing the service, but don't be afraid of, because there's a better solution. There's a better way of doing it. And that's your opportunity to explain, well, that's why I've asked you the question, because I believe there's a better way of doing it too. Let me talk you through how I want to work with you instead. If instead what they say is, yeah, I do love you, Gino. You're amazing. Everything you do is golden. I want you to keep doing. What can I do to make you keep doing it? Okay, well, here's the thing. And the problem's on your side instead. I'm doing all this for you. I bust a gut for you to smash it out of the park every single time we work together, but I'm doing it totally at risk. At any point through a project, you can tell me, do you know what? Just hold fire on that. I don't think we're going to go ahead with that one. And I'm screwed. I've invested X amount of time that I could have been doing something else on, and it's not commercially viable for me to keep doing what I'm doing for you completely at risk. So I want to keep doing what I'm doing for you, and in order to keep doing that, it's not going to change the amount I charge you or our relationship. In fact, it's only going to improve our relationship, but I am going to need some financial commitment from you in order to keep doing what I'm doing. So never be afraid of having that conversation with your clients.
Yeah.
Right. We've covered such a lot in a short space of time. I always feel like this when we do these. Thank you very much, Jordan, for sharing your expertise as always. That's it for the series. Please come and talk to us if you want to talk to us about Retained, if you want to take advice, guidance, you want to find out a bit more about what we do, which we'd love to share with you. Just book a call on our website. It says talk to us. We always make time in our diaries to talk to you about your business, where you want to get to, and see whether we can help you achieve that. And we're going to be announcing our new series, which is coming soon. It's going to be announced over on our company LinkedIn page, so make sure you follow that to receive the notification. We're going to be launching season 2 in November. Kyla's popped a question in there. How do you overcome prospects who have been burned by previous retained models? Amazing question, Kylan. We will tell you that over a phone call, because we haven't got time tonight to do that. So head over to our website, book in for a chat, and one of us will happily talk you through that one. There's another one there from Michael. I don't see how my process would change if it was retained. The only real sell I have is fear of loss of my service unless retained. Can absolutely help you with that one as well. Just head over to the website. Go on, Jordan. What were you going to say?
We could go all night, right? Bob had a question as well.
Yeah, we could.
You have. We would absolutely love to speak to you and help.
Yeah. Let us answer those. If anyone else wants to know, anybody else wants to know the answer to those 2 questions, just pop it in the diary and chat to us and say, right, you know that question? I want the answer, and we'll give it to you on the call.
We'll check out our YouTube.
We're really generous.
Because we might have already answered it on YouTube.
Yes, we could. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, because in fact we could make a couple of little videos answering Kylan's and Michael's and pop it on our YouTube. So we release a video on YouTube every week. So if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you head over there and you'll get those videos sent to you. All right, now Jordan wants to go and watch the Liverpool match. I need to get on the road and get home because I'm at my mum's house tonight. Lovely to see you, Jordan. Lovely to see you, everybody that joined us. Thank you, Charles, for your wonderful coordination of this series. And we'll see you in November, if not before. Good night, everybody.